Hey peoples, Tuesday Alien back here with you. Thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to put a video together looking at the Soundtoys Effects Rack. I've been messing around with this today and a few other projects I've been working on, and I thought it'd be good to get a video together just explaining why I like this effects plugin or suite of plugins. Hopefully give you some insight and show you some neat stuff on how you can employ it with your projects. So you can see I'm in a pretty empty bare bones project here, and I'm just gonna show you what I was working on earlier today, more or less, was getting some multi-effects presets together that are useful for really simple loops, like spicing things up and, adding a bit of glitch and interest and, just, creating some interest in simple kind of audio loops and chord progressions and so on. So I've taken a bit of inspiration, I guess, from other plugins that I've worked with, namely Camel Space and Tantra, which are multi-effect plugins useful for this kind of purpose. So I thought it'd be good to look at the Soundtoys bundle and try and configure some presets more or less aimed at doing the same sort of things, mainly because I think the Soundtoys plugins are excellent for starters. Like, they are some of the best DSP algorithms I think out there, and would be really cool to have some of those presets, because I think some of the many of the presets that come shipped with the Soundtoys bundle are pretty extreme. Like, they're more geared for sound design, extreme sort of sound effects and so on. So I thought it'd be good to make some presets aimed more at usable musical applications, like I was saying, just sort of more subtle kind of effects for chord progressions and drum rhythms, and creating a bit more complexity with some simple kind of base material. So we'll get into that. I'll just show you what we're going to be working with for starters, and just a simple chord progression I've got coming from this phase 4 inside of Bitwin. It's certainly nothing flash. As you can hear, there's quite a lot of harmonic density there that we can work with, which is, it's always a good thing when you are dealing with effects. So let's get into it. We've got a whole bunch of effects down the right hand side of our effects rack here, as you can see, and I'm not going to go through them all because we'll be here forever, but there's a lot of good stuff. So we're going to drop this Filter Freak to start with, and obviously by the title it's a resonant filter plug, and I'm going to just, I guess, what I really like about Filter Freak and why I think it's an excellent plugin is the modulation options it has on board, like for modulating the parameters. Now, we'll just get into it. So I'll just start this. So I've got the frequency down a bit. I think I'll put it into bandpass mode, and I'll leave it at 2 poles for now. Now we're going to go and change our modulation options here and select the rhythm pack of options here, and will increase the modulation depth. So as you can see now, we've got a sine modulating the frequency and the resonance at a quarter note tied to the tempo of the host. So we're going to open the tweak menu to dive into some of the deeper parameters under the hood. You can see this step rhythm editor that will let us really dive into the details of how we want this rhythm pattern to modulate our parameters. So firstly, I'm going to drop our resonance modulation down a tad. So you can see we still want mostly just frequency modulation, and we're going to change the shape, the wave shape that modulates to a square. But what we'll do is smooth this out with this shape editor section here. It really lets you tweak the wave shape, and the smoothing parameter allows you to so you can see we can get some interesting shapes. And then down here we can change the number of steps per bar to 1/8 rhythms. And then we can also adjust the grid per step. So if we can add a whole bunch of extra steps. On the 32-step grid. If we hold the Alt key and click drag these steps, we can increase or decrease the modulation depth. So you get some pretty interesting modulations when you start really diving into that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to drop another filter in underneath this and leave it in low pass. Bump it up to 4 poles and have a more of a steeper cutoff. So give it a bit of res. Drop that frequency, but we're going to modulate this with our rhythm again, but we're going to just leave it at I think maybe a 1 bar frequency, so it will ramp down over 1 bar. So now I've got a few nice modulations going on. Now what I'm going to actually employ now is a tremolator and get some more gated kind of action going on. So over here we've got the shape that we can select for the steps per pattern, and the rhythm again similar to what we were looking at in filter 4. So I think we'll go for maybe a pulse, or nah, probably a square, soft square might be nice. And 16ths will be nice to start with. Maybe add a few larger steps in there. again, we'll just tweak some of these values. So we've got a nice gated kind of pattern going on there. And we might just bring the dry mix, or the previous filtered mix back in. Like so. Now what we might add to that is a bit of delay. So there's a few options. We've got primal tap and the Echo Boy, which is a classic. So we're going to use Echo Boy, and that's an absolute classic delay plugin. This one is a very, very nice delay. So I'm going to go to ping pong mode, and we're going to drop the ping slider to dotted eighth rhythms. Bring the feedback up a bit, and just sort of bring that dry balance up a bit. Back the mix off so it's a little more subtle. And we might just filter out some of the high and low range frequencies on those delay feedback tails. Now over here we've got analog style sound adjustment parameters we can tweak, and we're going to use this AM radio setting, increase the input and the saturation and bring the output down. So once we've done that, I think what we're not bringing is crystallizer. So this is a granular delay, and this is used to add nice pitch shifted grain delays and glitchy type effects, which is what we like. So I'm going to disable the MIDI sync and just set this off its own arbitrary timing. Bring the pitch parameter up to about 700 cents. So you can now hear those extra grain delays all pitched up, about 7 semitones. And this threshold frequency lets us choose with this gate and duck parameter in conjunction with each other as to when the delay tails will become prominent in the sound. Like so. And bring that splice time down. So these are the actual grain sizes, more or less, and the delay between each. And we'll bring this feedback or recycle parameter up. Actually, make that delay time a little bit longer. So, starting to sound pretty decent, and I think we'll put one more effect in and might just leave it at that, because don't want to go on forever, but we'll put in the phase mistress. So obviously this is a really nice phaser plugin, by the way. It's probably a bit extreme by default, but if we go into the style tab, it gives us a whole bunch of phaser algorithms that we can work with. Yeah, I'm just going to go with one of these classic settings here. I won't go through them all, again we'll be there forever. So take that resonance down and the mod depth, back that off a little and bring the frequency up somewhat. And I think we'll slow that rate down slightly as well. And now bring some of that drier signal back in. I'll smooth that. Just slightly. So there we have it. We've got a nice multi-effect patch. Effectively, you could refine this. Spend a lot of time, tweaking these to your likings, and this is only scratching the surface really, but it just sort of shows you a little bit of the power inside of this effect rack. So just stop that. Yeah, so I really enjoy this suite of plugins, as you know. Like, it's really nice to have it all combined in a rack, because I remember before, I think it was version 5, had the rack, you just had to, string a chain of the individual plugins together, and it just, with this, it saves opening and closing all the windows and trying to keep track of it all. It just buys it into a nice unified kind of presentation, and like it's good also in that with other multi-effects plugins you're often just limited to just the one instance of that effect, and routing for the effects chain is fixed, whereas with this effects rack you can just you're free to like arrange the plugins and have as many instances as you like. So it's quite configurable, and it's pretty powerful. We've got the recycle feedback option for the overall rack as well, which is nice. So I might just demonstrate that. It's quite a nice feature to have. Bring some of that dry mix back in. Yeah, we've got a nice kind of jittery effect going on. So yeah, get onto the Soundtoys. They're doing it's free to use at the moment until June, as far as I know. So that's really good of them to let people use it while they're in isolation at the moment. So if you haven't checked it out, go and do so, because they're well worth it. And yeah, might just leave it at that. If you've got any questions or comments and all that other stuff, feel free to leave that in the comments below. Look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time in the video soon. So take care. See ya.